The government is this evening seeking to clear the air and allay fears about a national identification card for Jamaicans.
There have been concerns about the type of biometric or personal data that is being proposed to collect and how it will be protected.
But officials from the Office of the Prime Minister are insisting there is nothing to worry about, as they also clarify issues raised last night in our story on the National Identification System. TVJ's Dashan Hendricks has this primetime news follow-up.
The government is intending to have a national identification system aimed at providing a reliable and a secure ID for all Jamaicans. But to have that ID, Jamaicans will have to submit having biometric data collected from them, and that is causing jitters. On Tuesday, the acting chief technical director for the Office of the Prime Minister, Jacqueline Lynch-Edwards, whose department is spearheading the national ID program, sought to allay those fears.
The biometric, most of us are going to be required to give our fingerprints. However, the list of things that you mentioned last night in your program are the alternatives to a fingerprint if I am not able to give a fingerprint. So, for example, if I am someone without hands, the option is going to be that my iris scan will be taken.
It was pointed out the bill did not say anything about alternative biometric data being taken if it is not possible to have any of the other items on the list.
I take your point, it's a valid point, and we have indicated to the draftspersons that that has to be much more clear. We have taken the point, because the third schedule, which is what you refer to, lists everything and gives the impression that I, using myself, being registered, I'm going to have to give all of that. That is not the case. So that will be tidied up before it is passed into law.
She said they want to refine the bill as drafted now to require only 2 biometric data to be captured for a national ID card to be issued, a photograph and one of the other listed items. On the issue of banking information, she said that, as well as the requirement to have DNA information included, were deleted from the original proposal. In the current bill, though, is the requirement for data to be included on the full names of a person's spouse, including common law partners. We were told the concept is to have this national ID replace the TRN, voter's ID, NIS, and driver's license.
It's not mandatory. However, if you want to do business with the government of Jamaica, then you will have to have a national identification number.
Then there are questions over how safe a person's data will be. For example, its protection from hackers and whether or not the police can access it for use in crime fighting. Warren Vernon, the program's director for the National ID System, addresses those concerns.
Coming out of the consultations that we had with the human rights group, we ensure that there are provisions in the bill that will not give the police access, direct access and browsing access to the database.
But he said if the police need information from the database, they would have to convince a judge to grant access, and that will just be to match an identity. He said each time a person accesses your data, you will be notified, and there are tough penalties to mitigate against unauthorized access. He said a tough new data protection legislation will be tabled in July to provide additional protection of a person's data. Dashan Hendricks, TVJ News.